Hello and welcome to Community with me, Melissa Sandfield. We have a show that's going to be like a quiet storm. We're going to be speaking about relationships and have two great people here that we're just going to have pretty much a discussion about relationships and how things are today and maybe how we would like them to be. So to my immediate left, I have Miss Deborah Moody.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to be on the show.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
And on the other side of the table, representing for the men, we have Ricky Richardson.
Hello, everyone. I stand alone today.
And welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So we're going to be speaking about relationships today, everyone. And the first thing that I wanted to just bring up was, in today, 2015, in the times that we're living in now, which are much different from what they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. What do you look for when you first meet someone to even say if you want to be in a relationship with that person? Like what is a turn on or what is a turn off?
Well, turn off, number one, was I don't care if be around anybody smoking. Mm-hmm. So that would be a turn off. Smoky breath, smoky clothes, smoky hair.
Smoky hair.
That would be a first turn off. Mm-hmm. What would be turn off for you?
Are you speaking from the first time physical or once you get to know the person?
No, just first time
meeting.
First time
like you seeing a person?
Just first time meeting.
So it would be, I would say the same thing, cigarette. And if you're in a crowded room and you happen to hear them talk, sometimes that can do it because they can kind of talk, just kind of like out the side of their neck sometimes. You can hear people in a conversation. You can kind of hear them if you're in the next booth. They can have a pretty face, almost be everything you're probably, but you hear them talk, it'd be a turn off for me.
Well, I was watching The Bachelorette last night, and every year I say I'm not going to watch it every season, and I end up watching it. And there was this guy last night, like it was time to vote the people off. And she's a Caucasian young lady, and he appeared to be Afro-American, and he hasn't gotten a rose the whole week or whatever they've been there. He goes to her at the end of the night. He wasn't even like on her radar. I don't think, she wasn't going to send him away. She just really didn't have any type of feelings about him. Mm-hmm. He talked himself so deep in the hole that she kicked him off the show right then and there. Oh, I mean, he was like, I need you to communicate with me. You need to say something. I haven't gotten a rose. You haven't paid attention to me. I mean, he just came off and just went off on her. And I was sitting there looking like, shut up, fool. You're talking yourself out of it. Like, she didn't even have an interest in him one way or the other. She didn't dislike him. But when he started to question her and you've been giving other people roses and what about me? They had to get security. It's like to be continued next week. So I'm going to be glued to the TV for The Bachelorette next week. But these guys, they go on, they're looking for love. And these are mostly sort of young people. And they're like, I haven't found love anywhere. But it's like, where are we looking nowadays?
Well, first, you're looking at, that's interesting. He's looking for love. You're looking at, do you know what love is? That's what you find. Do you know what it is? True. And when it's there, you know how to receive it and give it. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things you find out. People don't know what love is. They've come from families that have been, and everybody's dysfunctional. It's how dysfunctional your family is. But there's still love. And you have to look at the fact that some people come from families where they've never had love. So you meet a loving, caring person, that's like alien to you.
Nowadays,
so immediately you zap onto that person and you're holding on to them. You ended up being a user because this person's just giving, caring, and loving from their heart. And because you've not been around that kind of person, you zap up. I've met quite a few of those kind of people. So
right.
It's first looking at number one. People have to look at why are they dating? What are they looking for?
Right.
Okay. So are you dating for a mate? Are you dating for fun? You're dating for companionship?
Mm-hmm. True.
Because then, those are all different arenas that you're in. Okay, if I'm dating for fun and he's looking for a mate, then why does he spend all his time with me? He's wasting time.
Right, right.
Holler at you, look at you when I see you, talk to you when I hear your voice.
Right.
But he shouldn't be spending a lot of time with me when I'm, and I'm playing.
Right.
I'm not interested
and you're
in
not
it.
even serious.
Or if it's two people that agree that just companionship. Be fun to have somebody to travel with, go to movies with, talk
Right.
with, and define this. Now, we're talking about this new age stuff, friends with benefits.
You're right.
We're talking about that. We're talking about just true platonic friendships where we travel together, go places because you want the company. Then it's different if you want to mate.
Right.
Then you've got some rules to follow. And I'm old school. You know me, I'm old school. So we go all the way back to dating.
Right.
People have the wrong idea of dating.
I agree.
Dating means you see lots of people. You see
Exactly.
lots of men, he see lots of women, until he says, I don't want you to date anybody else. Let's just see if you and I. Then
Right.
We
we
make
both
that
agree,
agreement.
and now it goes into the courting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, see, I
Then
didn't
you
know
start
that.
I
courting.
didn't know that.
Yeah, see, then you start courting.
know.
Okay, now, in the courting process, then he's deciding, and I'm deciding, if we can even be a match.
Exactly.
Okay? If we can be a match, then he decides. See, we're not letting men be men. Then he decides, okay, you know what? He wants to take it a little bit further. We have let's have it. We have an exclusive relationship. So now he may decide, hey, let's look at, let's talk about what would it be like if we were married. Well, what's your concept of marriage? What's mine? Then we start talking about those things to see if we even match in those areas. Finances. Then you start looking at things. People don't think about that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's
today.
just,
Not today.
these young people, it's physical, and that's it.
And that's it.
So you have to really look at old school dating, because they didn't stay married 90 years, and I just saw one on the internet, 90 years, 40 years, without some relationships going on as far
Right.
as communication. They weren't in the bed 24/7.
Right.
Okay, you have to communicate. You have to have respect for each other. You have to value each other.
Right.
So that's what you're looking at, when you're looking at relationships and starting relationships and teaching our young people to go back to the old days and love yourself. You see, if I don't love me, I can't love you.
Right.
At that point you said about back to the old days and teaching young people, I think more or less it's the way that TV is, media is corrupting them. You don't see that no more. You don't see courting on TV no more.
No.
You don't see people, older couples going on ice cream dates. A lot of young people don't even know what an ice cream date is.
Right.
It's like you don't see that no more. So they
Right.
and if you keep going and going, it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse. So how do we bring it back to that point? That would be a main question too. Is how do we get it back to that point? I agree with you saying everything.
And it always starts with with the people. Self-respect, number one.
True.
See, if I love me and respect me, I'm gonna love and respect you.
Exactly.
See, if I'm angry and mad, then I'm gonna make sure you angry and mad too.
Exactly.
And that's what, you end up with people that are angry, and it has nothing to do with you. They have issues
True.
that they need to go and deal with. Because, like my father would always say, don't take old baggage into a new relationship. Trust somebody until
They give you a reason
they
not
give
to.
you a reason not to. But people don't.
Exactly.
It's
Nope.
like, you did what Betty Boop did, so you must be like Betty Boop.
Nope.
Or, you did what Joe Blow did.
Right.
Making you pay for something somebody else did.
That you have nothing to do with.
Exactly.
So, that's what we're looking at as far as at least beginning a relationship. You start listening. My number one is, can he finish a sentence? Can he finish a sentence?
Yeah,
Does
that
he
would
have
be
a
like-
brain?
Does he have all his teeth?
That is a plus.
Does he have a brain? Can he finish a sentence?
And see, that's my first thing. Can he finish a sentence? Can we have a conversation?
But when I think about somebody, I always think like, would I be able to see them in every single aspect of my life? You know what I mean?
That's a perfect person.
I shoot
And nobody's
pool,
perfect.
but I mean, okay, they don't have to do everything. But can I see them if they had to go with me to shoot a game of pool? If they had to go with me to a guitar lesson? You know what I mean? Like, if they had to do everything with me, can I see them there? I'm not saying you have to be. I'm saying, can I see that person there? If I have to come here to the radio station, I'm like, can you sit here for an hour? Can he sit there without talking or chewing gum or not turning his phone down? You know what I mean? Like,
But do they
basic.
have to? That's what we're looking. Do they
don't
have
have
to?
to.
That's what I'm
No.
saying. So
Do they want to?
I look at my mother and father. Lord bless them, because they both passed away. They were married 44 years. This is my stepfather and my mom.
Wow.
And my mom had her things that she did. They did things together. He had things he did. And I think what I saw was with them coming together and talking about what each other, have done. She was busy in her things. He was busy with his, because he had little carpentry things. We called them the Snail Brothers because they were slow as heck. You want something done, not in a hurry. But, these are things, everybody's not going to have the same interests. But you respect the interests that you have. You want
Right.
somebody that respects the fact that you come out here to the radio station and not, there she taking the time away from me. It's not about you. It's
Right.
respecting what people enjoy doing.
Right.
And respecting it. Now, if he wants to be a part, come on in.
Right.
Learn.
If you don't, it's okay. Holla at you want to get out.
Right.
But you don't want anybody that's angry because you are doing those things that you enjoy doing.
Right.
True.
Because
Okay.
everybody's not going to like to go bowling. Everybody's not going to like to go hiking. I love to walk. Everybody's not going to like to walk and go on a journey.
Right.
They say, you don't walk, you go on a journey.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. We've talked about the beginning of a relationship,
Okay.
where you see what turns you off. Pretty smile might turn you on, or where you see somebody smiles at you and. Hey,
Conversation.
a conversation, and hey, I'm interested in that person. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about the middle of a relationship after you meet and what do you do once it gets going. We'll be right back.
All right.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
Okay, we're back, and we were just speaking right now about what do you do after you meet? What do you do during the courtship? So let's say you've met someone and there's that spark, and you've dated, now you're courting. What's important to keep the relationship going so you can get to the next level, or if you're on the same page, marriage and whatnot?
I think it always was a saying, what I did to get you is what I got to do to keep you.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes as a big factor, as some people tend to get into courting, get into a relationship, and get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
They stop doing things they used to do, phone calls, flowers, saying good morning. So you wake up one day and you realize, can I see myself with this person for the rest of my life? It ain't even the next, it's the rest of my life, which where you want to go with that person.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes a whole toll on the people in a relationship. So at the beginning of it, that's why you have to stay focused on what attracted you to this person, what kept you interested in this person. I mean, people seem to get off track on that. I mean, and to be honest, it's kind of sad because other things come into play. I mean, you don't know what she did or what he did. Something could have happened, but you still have to remember, if you're starting to feel for this person and you actually have deep feelings for this person, then when it becomes to where you love this person, that should be present over everything. Love shouldn't, where you love this person, it should basically dictate on how you're going to continue to be with this person. Now, it can go to a point where they did something in a relationship that turned you off, which can be very, very dramatic to a person, because you have to take the time to get to know a person. You have to take the time to, I don't want to say study. I don't want to say study a person, but just pay attention to the small things. The small things is gonna make the things last forever. And being a man, women seem to have that issue with men. They don't pay attention to them. They don't know their favorite colors. They don't know their birthdays. It goes all down to that. And sometimes it's simple. Even sometimes men don't have good memories, but you write it down, believe me, it's gonna come back around. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and it's interesting that he brought out a lot of those, and that is a key point. You need to take the time to, especially when you're courting, to listen. People don't listen. You're listening to respond. Listen and find out. When you listen, you'll find out what that favorite color is, what that candy bar is. It's not big things that women like, it's the little things.
And she don't even have to tell you if you listen.
Yeah, if you listen.
Exactly.
And it's simple. Same thing with men. People, men love flowers. No, they don't like a big old bunch of roses, but there's flowers men love.
Right.
Okay, there's things that they like. So if you're listening, do something that they enjoy. Find out, my grandmother used to always say, learn something new every day about that person. And if you love them, interested, you will. You'll find something new. Because even when people tell you that they've been married 50 years, they still don't know about their mate. So you have to learn something new every day and take the time. He brought a really interesting point when he was saying, you get to a point sometimes maybe where they do something. That's where that forgiveness comes in. Because no one's perfect. You're not perfect. So we're looking for the perfect person for.
Right.
So that's where, and my grandma told me a long time ago about that 80%. Go with the person that has 80% of the things that you guys are compatible with, because you'll be together a lifetime. They were together over 50 years. So that's what you end up doing. My mom and dad, 40-something years before my mom passed.
And you don't see that no more these days.
No, you don't.
Yeah, because the first sign of trouble, we're like, I'm out of here.
They change.
I told her I like my eggs medium, and she made it hard, the egg hard, and she know how I like my eggs, and that'll be the big, like, what'd you break up for? An egg? Or she broke the egg yolk in my fried egg? Like, what? I hear the strangest reasons of people breaking up, or they'll be together 5 years and they get married and they break up a year later. You know what I mean? So I looked on the internet and I looked up some things, and so one of the things was to keep a relationship going is to be a good listener, not to be jealous, to be consistent, to be on time. If you say you're going to do something, be on time.
Speaking of women or men?
It didn't say. It didn't indicate.
Well, be a person of your word.
Be a person of your word. And that's what the next one is. Do what you say you are going to do. And it says, don't lie, be fair, be realistic.
That's a deal breaker.
And the number one thing that I took away from this was never say things that you can't take back.
Right.
Never say things you can't take back.
Because you can kill a person, like you said, your tongue is life and death. You can kill a person with your tongue or bring them to life. Motivate. Absolutely. There's an interesting show. I don't know if you've watched it. It's called Married at First Sight.
Yes.
I love that
I watch that show every Tuesday.
Only because it's interesting, because if you did that, the first thing you have to do is take the time to learn about each other. Even the wedding night. It's not wedding night about, wedding night like they say. It's not the typical wedding night.
Right.
Where let's hop. No, this one is, I need to get to know you because I don't know you.
Right.
They just open the door. I just married you.
Right.
So our goal now is, let's see if we, now by all the scientists, the sociologists, the sexologists, all the things, you guys are compatible. Awesome. But now their thing is, you have to make it work now. So I love that, because now you see them, and I watch it. I don't watch it, but I watch it sporadically, see what my little couples are doing. And they're working through issues.
They are.
Okay.
I watch it every week.
Because they are compatible. They're trying to figure out if they are, but they really are compatible.
They really are.
They really are. They're compatible, and they're awesome. They really are. And that's another take on relationships, when the same thing. Get to know somebody.
Right.
Get to know their family, because you're going to be looking at not just them, but the family.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Definitely.
So you have people that are just full of drama. Okay.
And it's like, when once you're in that relationship and you're courting, what do you do to make sure you continue to communicate? Because misunderstandings can be a deal breaker too. It's like, I don't even want to be with you, but you didn't even understand what happened. You got to make sure you communicate.
And it's how people aren't taught how to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of, he's, say for instance, we're an item, and he's looking at all these women. Instead of me, babe, whenever we're together, you're always turning your head looking at what makes me feel like, I'm not attractive to you.
Right.
Okay, if he, it might be innocent, men are visual. His was, if that bothers her, I won't look at, because they're gonna look. But it's the idea that you're staring and following.
Right in front of it.
Right.
Discreetly, right?
Yeah. And to communicate things in that manner. You talk about how that behavior that they're doing makes you feel.
Right.
Because then it doesn't put him on the defense.
Right.
But you also got to that what you saying, that point is communication. If something bothers you, don't wait a month later
Yeah.
to bring that
Talk
back
about
up.
it then,
right.
If it hit you, a day I would give it, at least a day, because sometimes people have to think, process their thoughts.
Right.
But don't wait 2 weeks later and then he'd be like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Right.
I don't forgot totally about that. Then it becomes a big argument because I didn't remember.
Right.
So now it's like you telling me something I didn't remember. So that's the key thing too, is when it's a problem, it's an issue, go right into it and get it out the way. That's communication.
Right.
Strong communication.
And it's the method in which you communicate.
Exactly.
And I always tell people when I'm talking to them, teaching that is, talk about how that behavior makes you feel. Therefore, nobody is being in the because as soon as you accuse me of something, I'm on the defense.
Exactly.
And what about doing all this important conversating over text messages? Oh.
See, if you have to play I Spy for the FBI and do drive-bys, that's not who you need to be with.
But I mean,
You need to build some trust.
but what I'm saying is well, Ricky and I have a 25-year-old child together. Okay, but just say if we were still together and he did something that made me mad, and I text him, the issue instead of talking to him face to face. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Why did you leave the coffee pot on, or why did you unplug it? You knew I was leaving the house after you. I want my coffee hot too. These are things that they discuss over, and it's very hard to understand the actual meaning of a conversation over a text message.
My point is that I was going to say with this new technology, people do not communicate. They don't communicate at all.
They call that communication.
Right.
That's what they think it is. And
But it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not at all.
It's
You don't know the
misunderstanding.
tone of voice that somebody has.
Exactly.
You don't know how people are feeling. You can read "Good morning." Good morning.
Why you put an exclamation point behind? Why you put it all caps?
Right.
Right.
Yelling at me.
Why are you screaming at me?
Yeah.
Right. And caps might just be like, I'm excited, not that I'm mad.
I
That's
agree
why
with
people
that.
don't text me. Call me. Okay. We're not going to have a discussion about anything texting.
But that
Call,
shows you the
that way
difference
you know.
between back in the days and now.
Right.
You didn't have text. So what did they do? They had to communicate. Exactly.
Well, you look at the same thing when you go out on a date. Watch people in restaurants. Everybody from mama, daddy to kids are all.
On
and
their phone
my
texting.
thought was, why did you come out?
Why'd you come out?
Stay home.
I went out on Mother's Day and everybody's on the phone, and
Yeah,
I was like,
and
hey,
they're
hey,
texting.
everybody get off the phone. You came out to be with each other. And they were like, she's right. I was glad I didn't get cursed out because they probably could have went left on me, but they
that's
didn't. They were like, she's right.
Yeah.
And they
you came
put
to
their
commute.
phones
You
down.
came to be together.
Right.
That's what going out to a restaurant is. Otherwise, you can go home and do that.
Right.
True.
Yeah,
It's bad
everyone's
enough you don't eat together,
so
you in all the rooms, but-
disconnected.
Yes.
So disconnected. Even when I see people with their mate and they're texting, and the person's kind of looking at them like, well, what's going on? Well, who are you texting? They look kind of like left out.
Right.
So that's a really big issue. Is to make sure you communicate.
Communicate.
Make sure
Verbally communicate.
and then face to face is better than anything
Oh, yeah.
else.
It is.
Absolutely.
You never know how a person look at you.
So if you had like a misunderstanding, like what do you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like if there's some misunderstanding or disconnect or what do you do? Like how do you fix it? Or
Well, one way you fix it, sometimes you have to look at how people see things. What did you hear me say?
right.
Okay, you have sometimes to go back to elementary, point by point, saying that because men are told, they always say men from Mars and we're from Venus.
Yeah.
You say one, he says one. I say, okay, let me give you a perfect example. A guy I used to date knows I love Snickers candy bars. Okay, now we're in the store. He buys a big Snickers candy bar. So I'm thinking, oh, wow. And this is my comment to him. All I said was, wow, you bought a big one. Okay, now I know he bought two, so I'm thinking one's for me.
Right.
He ate up both of them. So I said to him, why did you eat up both candy bars? Well, you said there was a big one. No, wait, let's go back. I said you bought a big one. I did not say I didn't want the big one. But
Right.
his interpretation was, it was too big, you didn't want it, so I'm going to eat it.
Wow.
That's why you have to go back and talk.
Right.
Because, see, I could have blown up about that candy bar.
Right.
But I wanted to find out, why did you eat it? Well,
Right.
this is what you said. Well, no, let me tell you what I meant.
Right.
What I meant was I usually buy the small one, but you bought the big one.
So I can eat something now, save something later.
Yeah, because they're even. I think about you every time I see a Snickers bar because they're even making the ones with 2 in a pack now.
King size is 2
right?
now. That's
Oh,
how
the king size.
That was
But they're
so
still
funny.
smaller than they used to be
Yeah.
10 or 15 years ago.
So in communicating, the same thing. You have to understand when you say something to men, they look at it a different way.
Right.
So make sure they understand what you mean.
So it's like you say like, I want to go to the movies on my birthday, and then what they hear is we can do something if you want to on your birthday. It's
Okay,
like I didn't
so-
even say that.
But no, I want to go to the movies. Well, I took you out.
Right. Yeah, you could
not
be
what I
very, very
wanted.
specific,
Yeah, right.
you know, and then the whole thing goes awry. So,
But that's not all true. I can't let y'all get on men like that. All that's not true. There's some things women say that it can confuse a man sometimes.
like,
Ooh, we'll be here all night if I
Give us one. Give us just one.
just
I mean,
give us
it's just-
one.
It's just, okay, here's an example. If you used to doing something with a person and then that one day you didn't do it because something changed, but then all of a sudden I'm supposed to continue to do that, but something had changed. Something changed, so that one day made a difference. You can't take, if you did something 5 days straight, on that 6th day something was different, so you're gonna make it up to where I didn't do nothing on that 6th day, so you're gonna come at me at a different way. You're not gonna communicate with me about it. Kind of like that. I can go into detail, but kind of like that. You understand what I mean?
It's like the opening door thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
that's a
mandatory.
deal
That's
breaker
that's
for
a
me.
deal breaker for me. Brother got to
But
open
that
the doors.
can be how you was raised too. That
It
can go
is.
down. how
Every
you was
man
raised.
should do that. Chivalry is not dead.
But
But
what happens is, see, you can
What
teach a
had
man
happened
manners.
was-
You can dress a man. You can't give him character. God gives him character, but you can motivate him to make money. You can dress him. You can teach him some manners. That's a manners thing. Just sit. I've done that many times. Just sit in the car. Let him figure out he needs to open the door.
You don't get out.
No, I just sit there. A friend of mine. I was mentoring his daughter. Okay, and that's what he did. I told him I was just talking to him about her. I said, "Watch me train your dad real quick." I said, "Don't you get out the car." We sat there. He hopped out, went into Starbucks, opened the door, and it looked like, oh, ran back, opened the door. I said, "Did we say anything?" And he opened the door ever since.
Wow.
I said, "That's like just sit there and just go, just act like, well."
How am I to get out?
Same thing when we get ready to open the door for you to open the door. I just let him go on in. Let him figure out he left you out there and he has to open the door.
Right.
Because we are so busy being, and that's just as women, we're Amazon women. Men are rescue rangers. Okay? They want to be needed. So brother comes up to want to pull out your chair. Oh, I got it. Brother comes over, he wants to put on your jacket. Oh, I got it.
he never did that
Pretty
before, right?
soon, he's going to say, hey,
Yeah, he never did that before. Till somebody else do it. Yeah.
let him do it himself. I said, let men be men. That's what's wrong now. My grandma told me, if you call a man, I'll break your arm. Because number one, he's got to think about you to call you. If he didn't call you, he didn't thought about you. And if he called you at midnight, baby, you know what you are. You the booty call. You're the last person on the list.
Right.
You
You're
decide, 'cause
last
you're
person on the
available.
list. Available.
Okay, so those are things you need to look at when you're dating, even in the middle. You know, you have to have respect for each other. See, people aren't going to respect you as much as you respect yourself. And so is that brother going to treat you the way you present yourself.
Right.
So,
Okay.
absolutely.
And on that note, we're going to take another break. And we've talked about the beginning of the relationship, the middle of the relationship. Big thing is to communicate and have respect. And the last segment, we're going to talk about the end of the relationship. How does it get to the end, whether you're going to be married or you're going to break up altogether? We'll talk about that next. We'll be right back.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy with vitamins and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
And we are back. I have Deborah, and then I have Ricky over on the other side. And we're having a great conversation, great discussion about when you start a relationship and how do you get to the meat and the crust of that relationship. And then now we want to discuss what happens in the end. If you want to stay together, bless you, and we say the man, and the woman, they date, and then the man decides if he's going to court. So what happens when we take it to the next level and there's that serious commitment and you're working towards marriage? What do you do to make sure you're going to be together forever and not turn around at the first sign of danger?
But I have a question. You started that saying commitment. Now, as a man, we never really established how long we've been courting and dating. But my question is as a man, how would you know when to propose to a woman? How will you know? How is it years that you've been together, or is it just a feeling that you're gonna have? Because that's like saying, okay, I met you this month, dated, courted you. 6 months later, we committed. 7 months, I want to ask you to marry me. Is that too soon?
No, it depends on the couple.
The couple.
It depends on that couple.
I think someone was saying before that if you go through the whole 4 seasons with someone, every season, then it's okay to ask them to marry you. If you've done or been in I said like it was gonna be jail time, right? You've done a year, but if you've been with someone for a year, then I think if you're connected and you want to be with that person, they know they want to be with you, I think it'll be a good time to ask. But a lot of times women are asking men to marry them because the men are just taking too long or they haven't decided.
Yeah.
We've gotten so comfortable.
Exactly.
See, they've gotten so comfortable in a relationship that this is fine. Old folks used to say, baby, you got to buy the cow to get the milk.
Exactly. That's not no more.
So it is not anymore. So therefore, he's very comfortable. You have women that are buying everything from men, so now they're very comfortable.
Right.
Okay, and so any woman they meet, that's what they're looking to do.
Right.
Okay, that's what they're looking for. And
Even
so they meet somebody that says, "Oh,
Even like
that, we're gonna follow old school stuff," and then it's you're crazy. Something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you. When I go to the restaurants, to Roscoe's, sometimes I sit back and I watch, and the man and the woman walk up, and you can tell it's probably like a date or they're probably just not married or whatever. When it comes time to pay, the woman steps up and the man steps back or starts looking around or walks on out the door toward the car. I'm like, not saying that men always have to pay, because I believe in, sometimes women should pay. But many times, 9 times out of 10, I see the men step back, grab a toothpick, grab a mint while the women are paying for the bill.
Wow.
Absolutely.
She could have been. They could be together, and his check goes to her, and she has the money.
That's not what it's looking like. It's just happening too much, and I don't know many men that are handing their check to women. Like
my mom, grandma, and grandpa went out. His check went to her. So when they went out to eat, she paid the meal because she had the money.
Well, we're talking about back in the day. I'm talking about like
now,
today.
Yeah, well,
and I believe that.
I've seen it too.
Well, even right now, I could see, like you were saying, if we're in a relationship, okay, sometimes you pay, sometimes I pay. But you see, most of the time, men are looking for the women to pay. Or it's not so much of that, because you see it on Steve Harvey. He had to retrain some women. They just so used to paying it and knock him out the way like he has no manhood. Oh, I know you can't pay, so I got this.
Right.
But why would you even be with somebody like that?
Right.
I mean,
Because he's done that I've seen that several times on his show where he had to kind of retrain the women because, they brought ex-boyfriends. Well, I tried to pay. She wouldn't let me pay for this. She's always, like I tell people, let men be men.
Let men be men, yeah. And we're so used as women, we're so used to like doing everything and taking care of ourselves and paying our own bills and everything. When a man comes in, you don't even know how to let him. You know, you don't know how to submit. You don't know how to say, okay, well, we'll do it your way. It's my way or no way. You
And
know?
that word submit, people are afraid of because it doesn't mean
I
what
like
they
the
think
word
it means.
submit.
Because submit doesn't mean what people think it means. See, I
Whole
was
different
raised
meaning
by a Chinese uncle also. I mean, and you know, because we have Chinese memorial taught with my Chinese uncle. And one thing that that he taught was, you know, Chinese women are taught from young women how to pamper a man. Okay. Now men go, oh yeah, but it's not even what we think because we're westernized.
Right.
Pampering a man in pampering him, you're also pampered. And that's what we as Westerners don't understand. We look at that Asian woman and say, oh my goodness, just how terrible she walks in the back. But you know, like my mother used to say, baby, you might be the head, but I'm the neck that turns the head.
Right. Right.
And that's that Asian woman. She's the neck that turns. She's a powerful woman.
Right.
And that's what we're not looking at, to embrace some of the things from our culture, even from Africa. You know, we're not embracing the culture to learn some things in order to make our relationships work. Because, you know, those people lived and were married for many, 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 many years.
Right.
You know, in our culture. Right now on the internet, there's a couple that's married, but they were married 80-something years. He's 100, and one was 106, 105 on my Facebook. It's like, wow.
Wow. That's great. Well, I guess the thing that I wanted to touch on is, you know, once you get married, how do you keep it going? And then, well, you can touch on that. And then, Ricky, what do you do when you decide, she's not the one for me? She does this too much, or she does that too much, or she picked up bad habits, or she picked up 80 pounds. I liked her at size 3, and now she's size 23. I mean, you know, so I want you to talk about what happens when you get married. How do you keep it? And then we're going to go to you.
Okay,
for
and that's one
what
thing
happens
that
when
I
you break
think couples do. You know, I've been divorced 30-something years, so I'm an expert now. I know what I don't
up. I
want.
thought you were going to say 30-something times. I was like, whoa.
You know what you don't want, but you
Right.
know what you do want. But we have an interesting family because we're all friends. But one of the things that I've learned and over the years and you look at is, number one, you need to cultivate. You know, when you're saying keeping, your question was how do you keep that marriage going? One of the things happen when you have children, people put the kids first. My thing is, and when I do my motivational speaking, ship those babies off to a babysitter and have a date night. Because you must have. That's why I wonder, why is everybody so surprised about our president and his wife have a date night? My mom and dad, they've been stressing that for years. They ship us off for the whole summer to camp, so they can, and they're all over. They having, you know, they're having fun.
Right.
My thing is, I always tell people, you know, married couples, you're legal, so you can swing from the rafters.
Right.
Play Tarzan and Jane in the house.
Right.
You are two big kids.
Right.
Okay. Ship those babies off to, because children will adjust. They are just fine.
Right.
If you have a healthy couple, you have a good healthy family.
Right.
So date your mate, and that's the only person. When you get married, that is your date for life. You can't date anybody else. So therefore, you have to keep it spunky.
Right.
Okay. There's things that you can do. You know, I should tell they couldn't figure out why my class was so packed at Southgate High at night, my adult class. When you hear this, you know why.
Yeah.
I told them, you know, for the married people only, it's single, plug up your ears. I said, you know, it was Halloween time. I said, you know, do some fun stuff. You know, when he goes to sleep, you know, put your coat on with nothing on it, ring the doorbell over, and flash it.
Right.
Do silly stuff. Do some fun stuff. People, look, a little lady did. She came back. She said, Teacher, my husband come home every night. He don't know what I'm gonna do. I said, you know, be the element of surprise.
Right.
You know, those are the fun things that you do. There's lots of things you can do that are fun. You know, the Tarzan and Jane picnic on the floor. People forget that there are fun stuff. You're adults. It's legal with you.
Right.
So, you know, you can. You know, you're married. Anything that you two agree, you guys have fun.
I had a
People
friend.
forget to have fun.
He dropped his wife off on Century Boulevard in Inglewood to play, you know,
Hooker?
yeah, hooker. I wasn't gonna say it,
And come back to pick her up.
He came back to pick her up, and another guy was trying to pick her up. Before he could get to me, he's like, hey, man, that's my woman. He was like, hold on, wait to turn. Like, no. And they were really, like, they had gone all out on the whole thing. Role playing, yeah.
The role playing is fun.
Okay.
And the biggest one is the maid.
Oh, yeah.
Bend over and dust. She said, wait till he comes home. As soon as he goes to the door, you're bending over and dust. He'll take it from there.
I like the one where you go to a bar at a hotel, and you have him go. He sits down, gets a drink, then you walk up to him and you start having a conversation.
It's like a pickup.
Then you slide the
Key card too.
Yeah, the key card.
And it's like, you can
Right.
have fun doing that.
Right.
See, that's the fun stuff that
Right.
people forget to do to keep marriages going. So,
Exactly.
it's really fun.
Okay, Ricky, and tell us about the downside. Breaking
the
up.
downsides of it, huh? Well, I don't think, how you said, like, when a woman gains weight. Of course, that could be unattractive to a man. But as a man, you have to let her know that. Sometimes it could be a self-esteem issue for herself. So you have to be able to be positive with her, be able to lift her up and tell her, I love you. It ain't about how much you weigh, how you look. It's about how I feel about you, how you make me feel. We love each other. So as that, I'm going to tell you, well, let's work out together. Let's do what you got to do. Let's be together in this. So you can't really just, end a relationship.
That's not what I asked you.
What'd
I
you ask
said,
me?
what do you do when you get ready to break up?
So you want me to be the killer? Is that what you said?
Right.
So you want me to say how to break up with somebody?
I'm saying, like, once you, like, say, like we said, you're courting and you decide, like, I don't want to be with this person for whatever reason. That was just
so
the
this
gaining.
is before marriage then?
Yeah,
Oh,
and you
okay,
break up.
okay,
You
okay.
want to break up, like, you don't see it going in that direction.
Yeah, because that can come to so many things that you can do. Like, I'll give you an example of, it could be somebody, if you, both each other have different kids. Both of you guys have kids from previous relationship. So you can see the point of how I raise my kids and how you raise your kids. That right there would be a deal breaker to me because I'm not telling you how to raise your kids, but they're going to be around mine. I got to be around yours. I don't want nobody else's kid disrespecting me. So if you okay with that, then that right there turn me off and make me want to say, I don't see us working. I don't see us going no farther. Now, if it's not even a situation of where we both don't have any kids, and it's just a little thing that you have done to change, far as the nitpicking, far as the not trusting, far as the making me feel like I'm guilty every time I walk through the door, do anything like that. That kind of stuff, I'd be like, you know what? I don't see us going nowhere. I don't see no future. Plus, if I got goals and you don't have goals, I'm trying to get somewhere and you're not trying to get there, then that right there, I'd be like, nah, I see myself here in 5 years. Where do you see yourself? You don't see you see yourself in the same predicament, the same thing. You don't see yourself moving. See that right there? I don't see no future, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, there's no future in us. So don't waste my time. I won't waste yours. That's what you was kind of talking about.
Yeah.
So
you went around the world to get there, but you got there.
I thought you meant once we were married.
No, I was saying if you don't even make it there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And also just letting them know you're a good person, just not for me.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, everybody's not
I'm not
for
trying
everybody.
to break your heart
Yeah.
or anything like that. Then, some people can
It's
be
like
like,
he said, one of the words he was saying, I don't see us going any further.
yeah.
Right.
It's like, why waste my time? I'm not going to waste yours. But then you're going to have somebody that might want to stalk you after that.
Have you ever had a stalker?
Yes.
Who?
It's like,
It wasn't me, was it? No.
You have people that just don't want to let go.
They don't want to let go.
exactly. It's like, and you want to be polite and courteous to that person. But then it's like the constant phone calls, the constant give me another chance. And then see, some people get caught up in that, give me another chance. Then they say, you know what, I feel bad. Let me give you another chance. 2-3 months, you back at the same square.
Right.
And remember what Maya Angelou said? What did she say? When someone shows you themselves the first time, believe them.
This is them again, all over.
Because they'll come back and do the same thing. What did she say? When I met her at Anaheim Convention Center, what did she say? And I've never forgotten what this woman said. She says, she'll never tell you how many times she was married, but she said, my first husband cursed me. I haven't seen him since. Mm-hmm. Her next husband, they were going to a party. She had a dress on. She thought she was looking pretty cute, she said. She walked in there and he told everybody at the party, doesn't she look hideous in that dress? She said, I didn't say one thing. I got home. She said, and I was packing. And he said, where are you going? He said, no, you got to go and you got to go right now. She said, I believe in forgiveness, so don't get me wrong. I believe in forgiveness, but I don't give you a second chance to come back and do the same thing again.
Right.
So that's when she said, when someone shows you themselves the first time, you believe them.
Right.
Because just like, what did he say? Took them back, and what happened? Same thing.
Because they'll play the nice role for 2 or 3 months just
and that's
to get back
exactly what
comfortable.
she says. When they show themselves the first time, you believe them.
Yeah.
Because that's who they are.
And so, what about? So we're on the breakup side now because you're happily ever after the marriage. We're together. We're good. When you break up, you know, what do you do if you see someone? Like, are we thinking about maybe you can rekindle with someone you haven't seen? Or a lot of people are rekindling old relationships on Facebook or online. They're meeting up with people. So what are the measures that you go to meet new people if you've broken up and you're like, I really need to be with someone? Because there are people who just can't be alone. They can't be alone. Like so do you go online, or do you that guy, remember Jason from junior high school where we're back together, or I liked him?
You got to remember, it's not junior high school.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was going to ask you. How far are you going back? Because if you talk,
but she's right. People
are
are saying,
rekindling.
I had a crush on him in junior high school or high school. Where you know, hey, you 40, 50, 60 years old now.
Right.
We're not the same.
Right.
exactly. It's not the
Now,
same.
what the way he was then may not be where you don't know what's happened in those years in between.
Right. Right.
So
I
your
don't like
best bet is let's get to know each other.
Right.
Let's talk on the phone first. And
Okay. Then what about online dating?
I mean, it's
be very picky. Extremely picky. Go
it's
ahead.
kind of like that. You kind of be picky, but at the same time, you can kind of weave out. You know, okay, you ask basic questions, and usually, what I experienced from dating online and dealing with people online, and being from the man side of it, a lot of guys online they don't look at that. They see a picture of her. She got a nice body. First thing they think in bed. They don't think, well, what do you do for a living?
Right.
How many kids?
Yeah,
do you
online
have?
is hookups.
Well, yeah, basically, pretty
Basically,
much.
online
But-
is hookups.
But there are good people
There
that's
are good
out
people.
there.
There are probably some good
because-
people online.
Yeah, it is, but it's just the point of how men look at it to where they don't think that way. And all of a sudden, she's thinking that way. She's thinking a mate. He's thinking a hookup. So that becomes the problem because then all of a sudden now she's stalking him. So,
Well, I found, I didn't find. One of my friends told me that one of his friends was like, man, you should go on Christian Mingle. And he's like, why? He said, I've met 13 girls, and he has hooked up with 13 girls sexually from Christian Mingle.
Mingle.com.
Yeah,
Oh.
and the girls probably are thinking he's the one. I met him on this Christian website, and he said he was taking them down like flies. Bam, bam, just all in a row, like 13 in a row. So,
that's supposed to be a different kind of site to where it's not about that.
Right.
but
It's
that shows the
supposed to be.
vulnerability of people. You know what I mean? Of maybe even the women. You know what I mean? Or maybe, I mean, it's
We have a
just
lot of desperate people.
desperate.
People.
Like she said, some people can't be alone.
Yeah.
Like you said.
But one of the key things that you look at going back, I got to go back old school where I was brought up, my grandmama down. If you can't live by yourself with yourself, you can't live with nobody else.
Exactly.
So you have to, in order to learn about yourself, you got to be by yourself with yourself. And you have to know what makes you happy.
Right.
Be already happy so you can be a part of somebody else's happiness. Otherwise, you're dealing with people that are miserable and they got issues.
Right.
Add to
And the
their
issues.
joy. You have to add to their joy.
So let's recap, and then we're going to do some. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to do our community events for this weekend. But we've talked about the beginning, the middle, and the end. If it goes good or if it goes bad, which do you go to the right, or do you go to the left, and what happens? And so we had some great tips on that. So I feel really good about our discussion. I learned a few things, and I'll hand it off to you to make some closing comments, and we're going to take a break.
Basically, number one, get to know the people. Get to know people, respect yourself, and communicate. Talk to people. When things happen, don't wait till it's passed along. Stop and talk to them. Let them know how their behavior makes you feel. From there, enjoy your relationship. If you're in it, listen, find those things that are fun. Listen to find out what's important to that person, because it's more about them than about you. You take care of them, you will be taken care of. Okay.
All right, and Ricky?
exactly what she said, but I want to add a little bit more from a man's perspective on this side of this.
Oh, Lord.
Because women, what they have to stop doing is stop making good men pay for their past.
Absolutely.
Because you run him off. He don't want to know. I mean, it's okay to know what this guy did, whatever, but don't put me in his shoes. My name is this, so I'm not this person.
Absolutely.
So give me my chance to prove myself to you before you already condemn me because of what somebody else did. So that's my thing. But like you said, trust, honesty, respect, all that comes. I'm going to give you that, but I want that in return by me being me, and we're not worried about, you know, how many times you could be hurt 50 times, but just, you
Not
come to me.
taking old baggage into
Yeah,
new
exactly.
relationships.
Exactly. You can be hurt 50 times. And now I might not be the one that hurt you. So that's what I have to say. My input from a man's side.
Okay, actually, we're not going to take a break. We're going to go ahead and go right into our community events. And I have 2, Deborah has 2, and Ricky has 2. So we're going to say them, and then we're going to say good night. So for this weekend, you can do free spay and neuter for your pets Friday, May 15th, all the way up until Sunday, May 31st, 8 p.m. This is located in Greater LA. The number that you would have to call to find out how to get your pet spayed or neutered is 310-512-7833. And they have some benefits of why you should get your dog spayed. She will never develop uterine cancer. She will never develop ovarian cancer. She will never develop breast cancer. And these are things I didn't even know that dogs could develop. So that's very interesting. The dog licenses are cheaper. She won't go into heat or be sexually receptive. And then the benefits of neutering are he won't develop testicle cancer. I didn't know that. Prostate cancer. And he won't have a tumor or a hernia. A lot of great positive things for your pets. So we have 2 little dogs, and we love our little dogs. So we want to make sure we take care of our pets, and spaying and neutering is the best way to do that. And the next thing is, if you want to check out the mobile clinic, which is by appointment only, you call the number 1-888-349-7388 or 1-888-FIX FIX PET PETT. And then my second event that I want to talk about is Street Food Cinema. It's so popular, and it's at Exposition Park. It's from Saturday, May 30th till Monday, June 29th, 7 p.m. And what it is, you pay for a ticket. They have games and outdoor movies and food. They have food trucks, and they have a live band there for you. So these are great things that you can do. Reserve tickets are $17. Seating is first come, first serve. You can bring blankets or chairs and just have a great time. This is the biggest thing going on. They're doing it in every city. So check out a city near you. In Glendale, they're doing it, Victory Park in Pasadena. And like I said, here at Exposition Park, going to be a great thing. Just go online to Street Food Cinema and check out where they're going to be. Okay, Deborah, you're on.
Okay, we have Ace Networking Mixer at Rockwell and Los Feliz, and that will be on May the 30th at 7 p.m. And that's going to be at 1714 North Vermont Avenue. The phone number is 323-669-1550. And you can go on the website, VIPsocialevents.com. Okay. Sounds like a fun thing to do.
Yes.
Now we have burgers, bourbons, and brews. And this is going to be from May the 1st to May 31st at 141 South Grand Avenue in Los Angeles. The phone number is 213-972-3331. The cost ranges from $18 to $40. Now, burger lovers, dreams do come true. You've called our chef, and they've answered with their signature interpretation of this indefinitely popular American novelty. For 1 month now, just for 1 month, break out your napkins and mop up the juices from the most decadent, creatively spun, and dare we say it, best burgers in your life.
Wow.
And what's a burger without his or her 2 best friends, each are paired to enjoy with a flight of bourbon and carefully selected brew. So
Oh,
get out there
cool.
to Burgers, Bourbons, and Brews.
Cool. Okay, and Ricky.
I have Summer Rooftop Series at Montalban Theater, Monday, June 1st, 7 p.m. The address is 1615 North Vine, Hollywood, California. Phone number is 323-871-2420. Cost is $15. Starting June 1st, they will be spending every Monday through the end of August on the rooftop of the Montalban in Hollywood. Nothing is better than dancing outside, which is actually good fitness, good exercise. On the rooftop in the middle of Hollywood, tickets are $15 and limited number of all summer passes will be available. And my second one, which actually I think is it's the second annual Southern Cal Moms Great Big Family Play Day. It is 4700 Western Heritage Way, Los Angeles, California, 90027. Phone number is 323-667-2000. The second annual Southern California Moms Great Big Family Play Day presented by Subaru of Glendale is on Sunday, May 31st at the Archery in Griffin Park. Experience popular kids brand, story time, bubble shows, character meet and greet, and more. Interact, fun, and experience. Experience the wonder of the ocean with Long Beach Aquarium on wheels. Take family photos, a hot shot truck wellness vehicle, messy art, sport zone, create and build station, kids trains, rides and bouncies, baby centers, summer fun station, the best of toddler camp, parent and me pampering parlors, face and painting, glitter, tattoos, balloons, arts, and more.
Wow.
Come meet the hippest bakery vendors and vendors that specialize in birthday pastry service. Many will be sampling and demonstrating their service just for you. The best food trucks, beer and wine,
Wow.
sampling local restaurants and business, snacks and hydration station throughout the event, national brand catering to green, organic, vegans, GMO-free lifestyle, dessert and cupcake corral.
Wow.
Yes.
Hand that back over here. I think I know where I'm going to be going.
Telling you.
Okay, so today in the community, we gave you some great community events. Check out redtricycle.com and free things to do in LA if you want to do things that are free or low cost with your family. Those are great things to do with your loved ones. And it's free. Everybody hop in a car and go. Check out the drive-in and Paramount. There are many things to do here in LA, and we should take advantage of those things. Motown is in town until June 7th at the Pantages Theater, and we're going to be going on June 6th with the Red Hatters. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we had a great conversation about relationships, what you should and should not do. And I had some great guests today. Thank you for coming, Deborah.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you for coming, Ricky.
You're welcome.
And we're going to do this again. We're going to have a ball with it. Any things you'd like for us to talk about or discuss, and maybe we'll start getting to where we can do call-ins. Email me at communitywithme1@gmail.com. That's it for me, and we'll see you next week in the community. We're going to have some war vets coming in to talk about our fallen heroes that go to war for us next week. So we'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye.